Hello, happy Saturday to everyone. January 30th, which is kind of incredible that we're already at the end of January 2021. Sorry, we had a little bit of technical difficulty getting on this morning, so appreciate your patience. Today, we are going to do mostly standing yoga poses to give our hamstrings a nice stretch. Lengthen up through the spine and kind of just open up through our shoulders. So this will be 30 minutes of yoga. We always start with pranayama in the beginning just to kind of ground ourselves, center ourselves, and bring our presence into our practice. And then we'll end with Shavasana, our resting pose, just to allow our body to rejuvenate and relax after our session. So again, as a reminder, always honor your body. Do what feels good for you. If something doesn't feel good, if you feel that kind of burning sensation, stop the pose, come to a nice child's pose or a downward dog, reconnect with your breath, and then maybe try to come back into the session. So just listen to your body. Again, with every inhale, we're using our nose. We're trying to find length through the spine, always trying to lengthen up. And as we exhale, really just deepening into the pose. So if you have a mat or a towel or a blanket or a rug, come to a nice comfortable seated position and we'll begin to connect with our breath for this session of Carrieyoga. Feel free to grab a blanket or a pillow or a block if you want to sit on that. Sit however it feels comfortable to you this morning. Just sit nice and tall. Keep your gaze downcast or start to soften the eyes, gently closing the eyelids, sitting up nice and tall, opening up through the heart and the shoulders. Hands can be placed down on your knees or palms face up or in a mudra, however you choose to connect with your breath this morning is up to you. And just start breathing in and out of the nose with every inhale and exhale. Allow the jaw and the face to soften. Allow your body to start grounding through your sitting bones, maybe through your knees, just to feel that strong foundation supporting you. Bringing your senses to this time on your mat and to your practice to bring you into the present moment. Inhale, exhale. Start to focus and bring that attention and awareness to the breath, to the rise and the fall of the diaphragm. Taking a moment to set your intention for your practice. Your intention is just what do you want to get out of your practice this morning? Just a nice stretch. Maybe you really just need to breathe and connect with yourself to calm any kind of nerves or anxiety you may be feeling. Or it's really an opportunity for that physical wellness to move with your body and be grateful for what your body can do today on your mat. Take 5 more cycles of breath. Again, trying to focus only on the breath and on our time on the mat, letting go of all of our thoughts. Silencing the mind and giving the time for ourselves today. As you finish with your breath work, your prana, sending that life force through the body. On your next inhale, bring the hands to heart center. Let's take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, and then we'll exhale it all out through the mouth before we begin our practice. Inhale deeply. And exhale it all out. Inhale. Exhale. Last deep inhalation in through the nose and sigh it all out through the mouth. Inhale. And exhale. Gently release your hands to your mat. Come to sit on those sitting bones in a nice easy pose. Maybe you come to lotus or half lotus. Slowly start to open your gaze. Bring your attention and awareness back to the room. And let's just connect with our breath. Inhale, arms rise. Gaze up at those thumbs. Exhale down. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale, arms rise. Really gaze up at those thumbs. Find length through the fingertips. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Let's just do neck rolls here. Slowly bring that right ear to your right shoulder. Maybe take your right hand down to the mat. Bring the neck forward. Exhale, bring the left ear down to the left shoulder. Bring that left palm down. Inhale, bring the neck forward. Just let it hang, softening the jaw. Inhale, roll the neck, bringing that right ear to the right shoulder. And then roll the neck forward. Inhale, bringing that left ear to the left shoulder. If you have any neck issues, be mindful of these neck rolls. Recognize the difference between pain and a good stretch. Sometimes it may feel good to bring it back. If you feel any pinching, just keep rolling that neck forward and to the side. Bring it back to the center. Inhale, bring the head up. Perfect. And we're just going to roll the shoulders. Inhale, bring them up to the ears. Exhale, back. Inhale the shoulders up. And exhale, back. Inhale, up, lift, and exhale, back. And then just reverse. We're going to bring them forward to the ears, and then exhale. We're just starting to warm our muscles up. We put a lot of stress and tension in our shoulders, so any kind of movement like this, if we sit a lot at a desk, feels really good. Place the right arm, hand down on the mat. Inhale, bring the left arm up. Maybe it'll feel good to come down onto your forearm. And just bring that left arm closer to the ear, turning and gazing up at the ceiling. If you have a block or a blanket, you can take that, roll it up, and put it under that forearm. That might feel better. You should feel a nice stretch here in that left side body. One more breath. Inhale, bring the arms back to center. And as you exhale, just switch sides. So bring the left palm down, right arm comes up close to the ear, gazing up at the ceiling. Again, feel free to use the blanket or block or pillow and place under your forearm. And just stretching through that right side body. Continuing our breath in and out through the nose. One more breath. Inhale, bring the arms back to center. Exhale through heart. Go ahead and come into all fours, tabletop position. Keeping those shoulders directly over the wrists. Your knees are hip width distance apart. Again, we're warming up the spine here. As we begin to use some dynamic movement, we'll come into our cats and cows. We'll feel the top of the feet grounding into the earth. Each palm and fingertip pressing into the mat. And as you inhale, arch the back, gaze up, tucking the tailbone. Cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, gaze at the belly button, cow pose. Inhale, focusing on the arch, gazing up, cow pose. Exhale, round, tuck the chin, cat pose. Do this 5 more times using your own breath. Really feeling a nice stretch in the spine and in the lower back here. And as you finish with your cats and cows, just come to that nice flat back. Bring the right hand into the center of the body. Inhale, bring the left hand up. And then maybe bring it, grabbing that right hip. You can keep your gaze down, or maybe you can turn and your gaze kind of goes up. Just stretching that shoulder a little bit here. One more breath. Inhale, release it up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring it down, back to the mat. Switch sides. Bring the left palm to the center of the body. Inhale, the right arm. Grabbing for the left hip this time, opening up to that right shoulder. Gaze is down or maybe turned up, whatever feels good for you. One more breath. Inhale that right arm up. Exhale, bring it back down to the mat. Go ahead and sink back on to your heels, coming into child's pose. Your knees can be together or as far wide as the mat, reaching for the top of the mat with your fingers and bringing your forehead down to the mat. Shift those hips back and forth. Just opening them up a little bit, getting them warm before we start our practice. Maybe engage the fingertips by lifting up onto them. One more breath. And as you inhale, just push yourself up again to a nice seated pose. I'm sitting kind of on my heels. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can bring that blanket there or a block or your pillow. We're just going to do some seated cats and cows here. So inhale, open the arms wide. Exhale, bring the Hands behind the neck, clasping them gently. Inhale, pressing the shoulder blades together. Your gaze is up, stretching the back of the neck, opening up through the heart. Exhale, tuck the chin, bring the elbows together. Inhale, open up, cow pose. Exhale, elbows together, chin down. Let's do this 3 more times using your own inhales and exhales. Inhale, opening up, cow pose. Exhale, elbows together, cat pose. Amazing, a cat appears. I don't know about your yoga, but that's how I roll. 1 more time. Inhale, bring the arms out. Find length to those fingertips. Exhale, wrap your arms around you, reaching for the shoulders, giving yourself a nice little hug. Stretching the shoulders. Inhale, open, and then just switch whatever arm was on top, that goes on bottom. Wrapping the arms, reaching for those shoulder blades. Perfect. And inhale, open back up. Go ahead and come back into tabletop pose. Remove the blanket if you were using one or a pillow. We're going to come into our first downward dog. So tuck those toes under and send those hips up to the ceiling. Get a nice stretch in our hamstrings here. If your hamstrings are tight, just keep a nice bend in the knee here. Try to bring those heels of the feet closer to the mat. Pressing through the palms, feeling a nice stretch in the back of the calves. Maybe shake your head, yes and no. Engage that core, pretending the belly button is touching the spine. Maybe come up onto tiptoes. And then exhale, bring those heels close to the mat. Pedal the feet, really do whatever feels good to you here. If it becomes too much on your shoulders, just drop back down to a tabletop. Maybe roll them out a little bit and then come back into down dog. So anytime in your practice, you can come to down dog. It's an active resting pose because you're still engaging muscles. Or you can come to child's pose, which is passive. Connect with your breath. Let's take 2 more breaths here. As you inhale, go ahead and walk those hands to meet the feet, coming into a nice forward fold. Again, if the hamstrings are tight, just keep the knees bent. I enjoy bending the knees, bringing my chest down to my knees, kind of making myself a little box here. I run a lot, so my hamstrings are usually tight, so this just feels really good for me. Just sway back and forth, softening the jaw. On your next inhale, bring those fingertips to the shins. Gaze is forward, nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly rise, 1 vertebrae at a time. Arms coming to the side and then out. Gazing up at the hands. Exhale through heart center. Perfect. Inhale here, standing in mountain pose, just pressing each of our toe points and heel, shoulders, our back, heart is open. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bring that left arm down and just stretch. Let me turn and face you so you can see. Just finding a nice stretch, reaching the right arm, bringing it close to that right ear. Inhale, bring both arms back up. Exhale, reach towards the left. Right arm is down. Left arm is up. No spaghetti arms. Maybe turn and gaze up towards that hand. Breathing in and out through the nose. Inhale, breathe both arms back to center. Exhale through heart. Perfect. Turn to the top of your mat. Inhale, the arms rise, finding length. As you exhale, we're going to sink into a nice chair pose. And just sink back into those hips. The weight should be in our heels, to the point where maybe you can lift up your toes. You can keep your arms lengthened. You can bring them through heart center. You can bring them into cactus arms. Really engage those legs here. 2 more breaths. Last one. Inhale, fold. Should be exhale, actually, sorry. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come back into that chair pose, keeping the knees bent, sinking back into the heels, just like you're sitting in a chair. Finding length through the fingertips. Engaging those quads. Inhale, stand tall. Add some dynamic movement. Exhale, bend the knees. Just doing some chair squats here. Inhale, find length. Straighten the legs. Exhale. Bend the knees. Sit back into those heels. Inhale. Exhale. The knees should never go over the toes. Inhale. We're going to do this 2 more times. Exhale. Sit in the heels. Inhale, last time. Exhale. Last chair squat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up all the way, come back into mountain pose. Exhale, hands through heart center. Go ahead and step the right foot back. Let's come into a high lunge, crescent pose. Pressing into that left foot, bending the knee. Your right heel is lifted, so you're really pressing into the ball of that right foot. Find your balance. Hips are squared. Open up, and when you're ready, inhale, the arms rise. If you're finding challenge balancing on your mat, maybe step off your mat and come onto the hardwood or the carpet. To help with balance, just focus on something on the wall. Find your drishti, and you'll find your balance. We're just going to add a little bit of dynamic movement again here. As you inhale, straighten that front leg, bring the arms back. Still stay lifted on that right heel. You're still on the ball of your foot. Inhale, bring the arms up, bend through the front knee. Exhale, straighten the front knee, arms back. But you're just really connecting your body and your breath, adding dynamic movement. Exhale, arms back, straighten the leg. Inhale, bend, find length. Exhale, straighten the leg, arms back. Last time, inhale, find length. Really sink into that front knee, engaging that quad. Exhale, bring the hands to the hips. Go ahead and turn both of your feet so it's facing the front of the room, just coming into a wide straddle pose here. If your gait is too wide, heel toe your legs back in so it feels comfortable to you. Stand nice and tall, hands on the hips, and then as you exhale, just hinge over the hips, letting your hands fall where they may, feeling a nice stretch again in the backs of the hamstrings, the back of the calves. Maybe it feels good to reach for your ankles. Maybe if you have that block or pillow, you can bring that and place your hands there. Let your head hang. Soften the jaw. Nice wide straddle forward fold here. One more breath. Release the palms to the mat. Bring that left hand into the center of your body. Inhale the right arm up, either gazing at the right hand or keeping your gaze at the left. Just finding a nice little twist here. 2 more breaths. Bring the right hand down into the center of that body. Inhale the left arm up. Again, gaze is at the right hand or gaze is up at the left hand, whichever feels good to you. Again, we're really stretching those hamstrings in the back of the calves. It should feel really good. 2 more breaths. And bring that left hand back to the center. Nice forward fold. Maybe just bend into the knees here. Coming into a low lunge just by walking, bending that right knee, walking the hands over, turning up onto the left heel. Nice low lunge. Again, stretching. And then walk the hands back over to the left, bend into that left knee, turn up on the right heel, stretching that right leg and hamstring, keeping the foot flexed. 1 more breath. And then walking the hands to the center, coming back up into a straddle pose. Forward fold. Inhale, rise, bringing the hands back up to the hips. And we're just going to turn the right foot. Sorry. Yes, we're on the right foot. Turn the right foot facing the front of your mat, and then coming into that high crescent lunge, lifting the left heel, pressing into the left ball of the foot, bending into the right knee. Inhale, when you're ready, arms rise. Making sure that knee doesn't go over the right foot. Keeping the hips nice and square. Sinking in to that right quad, or standing up a bit. Finding your balance, using your drishti, gazing at something on the wall. Adding that dynamic movement. Inhale, exhale, bring the arms back. Straighten that front leg. Inhale, bend, arms up. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Still keeping that left heel lifted. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, straighten that front leg and then turn again, coming into that wide straddle pose. Both feet are pointed to the front of the room. Exhale, fold forward, allowing those hands to reach for the mat wherever they may. Maybe just bend the knees, stretching it out a little bit. Coming back into our twisted star, bring your right hand into the center of the body. Inhale, left arm to rise. Couple breaths here. Bring the left hand back down to the center. Inhale the right arm. Couple breaths on this side. Bring that right hand down. Go ahead and heel toe your feet together, coming into a forward fold. Clasping opposite elbows with opposite hands. Letting your body sway, bend the knees as much or as little as you need to. Inhale, come to that nice halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Go ahead and plant the hands and step back to a nice high plank, Dandasana. Inhale, shift forward, tuck those elbows in, Chaturanga down to a nice flat belly. Untuck the toes. Bring your thumbs right by your rib cage. Inhale, come into a nice baby cobra. Stretching the nice lower back here. Exhale, come to your left cheek. Inhale, come into that baby cobra. Lifting through the heart, shoulders back, touching those shoulder blades. Shavasana. Exhale to the right cheek. Inhale, come into that baby cobra one more time. Pressing into the tops of the feet. Really finding a good stretch in the low back. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, push yourself up. Come on and drop onto that right hip. Press your feet, keep your knees bent. Press the feet into the mat. Inhale, arms lengthen. And as you exhale, just roll back using your core, coming to a nice flat back. Lengthen the legs. As you inhale, bring the knees to the chest. Give yourself a nice little hug. Roll back and forth, massaging the spine. As you inhale, let the left leg lengthen on the floor. Keep the foot flexed. Clasping your hands together, bring that right knee to the chest. Keep your right foot flexed. Really pushing that knee to the chest to find a nice stretch in the quad. Maybe taking the right hand and just opening up that hip a little bit, and then just circling it. Using your hand to circle in one direction, And then switch directions. Inhale, bring that left knee back to the chest. Bring the chin to the knees. Give yourself a nice little hug here. Exhale, allow the right leg to lengthen, coming to the mat, keeping that right foot flexed, left foot flexed, clasping your hands over the left knee and bringing it closer to the chest. Stretching the quad. Using the left hand, maybe open that hip a little more, and then using the same hand, just circle out the hip. Doing some knee circles. Again, in one direction. And then switch directions. Good. Inhale, bring that right knee to the chest. Open your arms out to a T. We're just going to do some side twists here using our core. So allow your both knees to drop to the right. Let them hover. Don't let them touch the ground. Inhale, using that core, bring them back to center. Exhale, let them drop to the left, hovering over the ground. Using the core, inhale, bring them back. Do this 5 more times using your own breath. Make sure you're really engaging the core. You're not swinging your legs, but with controlled motion of the core and the legs. You're allowing them to hover. And then with control of the core, bringing them back to center. This is a nice, easy way to start engaging the core and building some core strength. And as you finish with your core twist, go ahead and drop the feet to the mat, bringing the heels as close to the sitting bones as possible, and come into bridge pose. Arms come down to the side, palms face down. Knees are hip width distance apart. Inhale, and as you exhale, lift those hips up towards the ceiling, pressing into the shoulders, keeping the neck in line with the spine. Engaging the quads, pretending we're holding a block in between those thighs. Keep them lifted and high towards the ceiling. Don't move the neck. Press into the palms, press in to the heels. Lift, lift, lift. 5 more breaths. Keep them lifted. Keep those quads engaged. Hold that imaginary block. 3 more breaths. Last breath. And as you exhale, slowly come back down to the mat. Walk the feet to the outer edges of the mat. Bring the knees together and then just windshield wiper those knees, alternating each knee down towards the mat, releasing any tension in the spine. Perfect. Go ahead and extend the legs all the way out onto the mat. Let the ankles splay open. Tuck the hips, tuck shoulder blades. Arms by your side, palms face up as we come into our final pose, Shavasana. pose gives your body an opportunity to rejuvenate after all the hard work and stretching that you've done in your session. Please stay here for at least a minute. Like any exercise, it's important to have that cool down. This is your cool down in yoga. So afford your body this opportunity to rest. Allow the heart rate to come back to normal. Release any muscles, any tendons. Release the breath. Release the body into the earth. Let it melt into the mat. Feel loose like water. Shavasana. Again, I invite you to stay for a minute or however long you have today for your practice. When you're finished with your Shavasana, roll onto your right side, cradling the head and your arms. Reconnect with the breath. Keep your eyes closed. And when you're ready, push yourself up to a nice seated position again. Sitting up nice and tall, bring those hands to heart center. Reaching that crown of the head towards the ceiling. Hopefully you feel a nice sense of length. You feel a sense of gratitude for taking the time for yourself today on your mat. Thank you for showing up on Saturday and practicing with me. Remember to always honor your body. Remember that yoga can be done anywhere at any time. When you're breathing and connecting with your breath, you are practicing yoga. In deepest gratitude, namaste. Thank you for coming and practicing Carrieyoga. I know I feel much better after this session. My goal for 2021 is really just to find more flexibility and more strength through my yoga practice. Like I said, I tend to run a little bit more than I do yoga, so I really want to get deeper into my practice again. So thank you for today. Keep flowing. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them below or email us at info@bouldercrest.org. Until next time, flow on, yogis.